Imagine an old king, powerful and respected, who decides to retire. But instead of a peaceful golden age, his decision unleashes a storm of betrayal, madness, and the tragedy. This is the story of King Lear, a tale that shows how fragile power and the family can be. King Lear of Britain, feeling his age, decides to divide his kingdom among his 3 daughters, Goneril, Regan, and Cordelia. But there's a catch. He demands they publicly declare their love for him, and he'll portion out the land based on the flattery they offer. Goneril, the eldest, steps forward first. She weaves a beautiful speech, claiming her love for her father is immeasurable, more than words can say. Lear is pleased and he gives her a generous slice of the kingdom. Next comes Regan, who, not to be outdone, echoes her sister's sentiments, adding that all other joys in the world are meaningless compared to her love for her father. She too receives her reward. Then, it's Cordelia's turn. She's the youngest and Lear's favorite. Everyone expects her to deliver the most loving speech of all. But Cordelia is honest and straightforward. She tells her father she loves him as a daughter should, no more, no more less. She says she will one day marry and give half her love to her husband, just as her sisters have done. Lear is enraged by what he sees as a cold, heartless reply. In a fit of fury, he disowns Cordelia completely, leaving her with nothing. The King of France, who was courting her, is impressed by her honesty and marries her despite her lack of a dowry. Lear then divides Cordelia's portion between Goneril and Regan. He announces he will live with them, alternating each month, accompanied by a retinue of 100 knights. A loyal nobleman, the Earl of Kent, tries to defend Cordelia and reason with the king, but Lear, blinded by rage, banishes him from the kingdom. Lear's retirement plan immediately goes sour. He first goes to stay with Goneril, but she quickly grows tired of his loud and rowdy nights. She sees him not as a father, but as a disruptive old man who is undermining her authority. She confronts him, demanding he reduce his retinue. Lear is shocked and deeply hurt by her disrespect. He curses her and storms off to Regan's castle, expecting a warmer welcome. But things only get worse. When Lear arrives at Regan's, he finds that she's not even there to greet him. Instead, he discovers his loyal servant, the banished Kent in disguise, has been put in the stocks for arguing with Goneril's steward. This is a profound insult to Lear's royal status. When Regan finally appears, she's even colder than Goneril. She sides with her sister and tells Lear he should apologize and return to Goneril's castle with even fewer knights. Goneril then arrives, and the 2 sisters unite against their father, stripping him of all his dignity and power. They tell him he doesn't need any followers at all. Heartbroken and filled with a sense of utter betrayal, Lear rushes out into a raging storm, accompanied only by his loyal fool and the disguised Earl of Kent. Out on the desolate heath, as thunder crashes and the rain pours down, Lear's mind begins to unravel. He rages against the heavens and his ungrateful daughters, his grief and fury pushing him into madness. He meets a beggar named Poor Tom, who is actually Edgar, the legitimate son of the Earl of Gloucester, hiding in disguise after being tricked by his illegitimate brother, Edmund. Lear, in his madness, sees Poor Tom as a philosopher, a naked, shivering symbol of humanity stripped of all pretense. It's a powerful, tragic scene, showing a once mighty king reduced to seeking wisdom from a supposed madman in the middle of a tempest. Meanwhile, a dark subplot is unfolding. The ambitious Edmund has been plotting against his own family. He forged a letter to make his father, Gloucester, believe that his legitimate son, Edgar, was plotting to kill him. Now, Edmund betrays his father again. He reveals to Regan and her husband, the Duke of Cornwall, that Gloucester is secretly helping Lear and is in communication with the French army, which has landed in Britain to restore Lear to power, led by Cordelia. For this act of loyalty to Lear, Gloucester is arrested. In a horrific scene, Cornwall and Regan gouge out Gloucester's eyes. But one of their servants, appalled by their cruelty, intervenes and mortally wounds Cornwall before being killed himself. The now blind Gloucester is cast out to wander the countryside, where he is eventually found by his disguised son, Edgar, who guides him without revealing his true identity. The story rushes towards its climax. Goneril and Regan are both rivals for Edmund's affection, creating a toxic love triangle. Goneril's husband, The Duke of Albany is horrified by her cruelty and he begins to turn against her. The French army, led by Cordelia, finds Lear. In a tender and heartbreaking scene, Lear, now frail and barely coherent, is reunited with Cordelia. She forgives him completely, and for a moment, there's a glimmer of hope. He finally understands the true meaning of love, not as flattering words, but as selfless devotion. But this reunion is short-lived. The British forces, led by Edmund, defeat the French army. Lear and Cordelia are captured and sent to prison. In a chilling order, Edmund secretly commands a captain to kill them both and make it look like Cordelia took her own life. However, the sisters' rivalry proves fatal. Goneril poisons Regan to get her out of the way, but her own husband, Albany, exposes her and Edmund's plots. Edgy appears, still in disguise, and challenges Edmund to a duel. He fatally wounds his treacherous brother. As he lies dying, Edmund confesses his crimes, including the order to execute Lear and Cordelia. Before she dies, a desperate Goneril takes her own life. A messenger rushes to the prison to reverse Edmund's order, but it's too late. Lear enters, carrying the lifeless body of Cordelia in his arms. His grief is immense, a howl of pure agony that silences everyone. He believes for a fleeting moment that she might still be breathing, but the hope is quickly extinguished. Overwhelmed by sorrow, Lear's heart finally breaks, and he dies over his beloved daughter's body. The stage is littered with deaths. Albany, Edgar, and the loyal Kent are left to pick up the pieces of a shattered kingdom. The tragedy is complete, a devastating exploration of human folly, cruelty, and the redeeming, yet ultimately fragile, power of love. Thanks for watching. If you found this story powerful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more deep dives into classic literature.